Today I want to share a story with you about how I went from being the laughing stock in high school to being $1,000,000 stock. As a young lady in high school, of course, you know, kids pick on you and they tease you, and I'm a very sensitive individual, and I allowed their comments to really affect how I felt about myself. The only time I really felt good or normal was on a basketball court or in a classroom, especially if it was in a subject that I excelled at. One of the things I learned is that people can be cruel and kids can be very cruel. I was teased because my mother sewed our clothing. So I didn't wear name brand clothing, I didn't wear name brand shoes. I actually wore a pair of shoes that are called Riddell's. Most people don't even know what that is or what brand that is. I'm very familiar with it. And my shoes had a hole about quarter size on the bottom, so I would slide my feet so that people wouldn't see the bottom of my shoe when I walked. The one thing I remember is I would always watch successful people or people who were where I wanted to be. Fortunately for me, I had a basketball coach who was an All-American in college, and I annoyed the living daylights out of her. Her name is Allison Davis. She's one of the best coaches in the panhandle of Florida. She was always reading books about how to coach centers, how to teach them this or teach them that. I watched her, and I would sit in her office every day, every spare minute that I had. I would go over there and ask her a million questions, because at that time I was learning from her, and I was watching everything that she did, how she handled difficult parents, difficult players, difficult teachers, whatever it may be. I learned so much from her. But I also, in hindsight, I realized that she was teaching me how to carry myself. I saw that swag that she had, always smiling, always approachable, always willing to help others, and I really wanted to be like that when I grew up. She reminded me a lot of my mother, who had a lot of the same characteristics and qualities. But I think she was very instrumental in me going from being a laughingstock in high school, where people teased me or where my height was an issue, because as a 6'5" woman, it's really hard to find guys to date at that height. Now, I have no problem. I can get a guy 5 feet that wants to date me, and they love long legs, and oh my gosh, they're enamored now. But I had to, one, learn how to build my own self-esteem and understand that it's not about what people think about me, it's how I feel about myself. And I had to surround myself with others who had high self-esteem and learn, where did that come from? How do I establish that within myself and find my own identity? I was able to do that by surrounding myself with positive role models and people who were where I wanted to be. From watching Lisa Leslie in the WNBA and how she carried herself, and she's in commercials and this and that. I went from the shy young lady who would walk with her head down and wouldn't look people in the eye, and I was afraid of eye contact, to the woman standing before you that is able to make video after video and do coaching clinics and one-on-one sessions and help lots, tens of thousands of people that I've inspired, either on the basketball court or through business or through philanthropy. I did this because I was able to overcome those issues. I overcame those issues by finding people that were where I wanted to be, and I began emulating them, learning what books they read, what they did in order to get to where they were. And as I did those things and I surrounded myself with those types of people, my own self-esteem began to raise. My mindset changed on how I saw myself as well. And I began to, I guess you could say, I began to develop a very powerful mindset, one that is now unstoppable, one that I pray other young ladies and other young adults around the world will adopt and understand that although things may be hard now, or you may be teased or bullied, don't allow that to deter you. Allow that to be motivation. Find people that you look up to, that you can follow, who will be great role models for you. When you're looking for a role model, I also want you to be realistic and understand that no one is perfect. Everyone is going to fall short. Everyone has their shortcomings. Everyone has skeletons in their closet. All of us. There's not a living, breathing person on this earth that does not have skeletons. So understand that you're not perfect, and neither is anyone else. Once you begin to think like that and understand that everyone is both good and bad, and we all are striving to evolve into the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be, you will also be able to go from the laughing stock to $1 million stock.